Hello, I'm the Media Wiz, because one art form wasn't enough. Let's talk about aliens. Space Invaders is a 1990 sci-fi family comedy made as a pastiche of alien invader movies from the 50s and 60s. After the mega hit E.T. the Extraterrestrial, movies about aliens became super popular, with many racing to capture the magic that made E.T. as big as it was. Sometimes you get a so bad it's good movie like Mac and Me, other times you get the ever-terrible Nukie. But Space Invaders is a fun one because it wasn't initially made to cash in on E.T., nor was it made to be a video game adaptation going by its title. Directed by Patrick Reed Johnson, a special effects veteran who's worked in a bunch of different sci-fi films, and directed an assortment of movies to the more recent Star Wars love letter 5/25/77. The script being inspired by the 60s comedy movie The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming, a film released during the Cold War about a Russian submarine getting stuck on a New England island and the crew recruiting the inhabitants to help them get their ship back up and running, commenting on the culture clash and the tension between both the US and the Soviet Union. I bring all this up because Johnson has cited it as one of his favorite movies, and said he wanted to do basically that, but with aliens. The film was independently produced for $2.2 million and was later distributed by Touchstone Pictures after Spielberg saw it and convinced the at-the-time Disney higher-up Jeffrey Katzenberg to pick it up. So let's see how this movie portrays a bunch of moronic Martians trying to take over the planet. This is Space Invaders. We begin on the red planet itself, Mars. After a title card, as well as an explosion, we see some pretty decent spaceship models. Seriously, this is almost Battlestar Galactica quality here. Imagine, if you waited a couple years for the early 2000s, it probably would have looked like a cutscene from a PS1 game. Over at the Imperial Atomic Space Navy, we see some of these aliens wearing Kmart Star Wars space armor.
For this reason, His Imperial Majesty has sent me to take direct control of our attack on the Arcturus system.
And because he has such little faith in his own soldiers, he implores that they use these things called murder drones, or rather, enforcer drones, to help keep them in line.
I'll not send my boys out to Arcturus with an enforcer drone breathing down my neck.
Okay, you know what? After doing that, I actually think calling them murder drones as a second name is actually not a terrible idea. While all that's going on, we cut to Earth in the fictional small town of Big Bean, Illinois, where the most exciting thing for them is the upcoming off-ramp. Ooh, just wait until next month where they're gonna get their first Richter scale. Here we see the new sheriff in town, Sam, and on his first day he has to spring into action as it seems an old man is about to wander into the local bank with a shotgun.
Why don't you just give me the gun?
'Cause I'm a crazy, desperate old man, and I'm just as liable to blow you out of your socks as to give you the time of day.
The sheriff successfully gets him to put the gun down. The old man, who's actually named Wrenchmuller, tells him that he was about to hold the bank up because the corrupt manager, this mixture of Doug Dimmadome and Ron Burgundy named Clem Becker, is gonna foreclose on his farm.
The credit union has full legal right to assume control of the property in question tomorrow at noon. Unless, of course, he can come up with the cash or a crop to sign over.
Hi, voice actor Greg Berger. So yeah, he's that guy you're gonna love to hate. He's just so over-the-top, greedy, and evil, you just know you want to see him get a comeuppance down the line. Back with the aliens, it seems they're losing their fight in the Arcturus system.
I've sent a distress signal to all ships across the galaxy, but we're headed straight into their sun, and our engines are about to explode!
And surprisingly, that alien is not voiced by Pamela Hayden. Really could have fooled me because I swear that alien sounds like Milhouse from The Simpsons.
Now there's nothing to do.
Let's trick or treat.
Ah, damn it. This is technically a Halloween movie? Crap. I should have waited to review this for October, not April. Back with Sam, he's helping his daughter Kathy, played by Ariana Richards, get ready for Halloween with her costume, which is... It's supposed to be an alien, but it kind of makes her look like a member of an 80s metal band.
Everyone's probably gonna show up dressed like scarecrows and pigs and clowns and stuff.
So?
I'm just not sure Big Bean is ready for aliens.
Playful irony! Though I really don't think she has anything to worry about with aliens. No, just wait 3 years and she'll probably have to worry about dinosaurs instead. Yep, same girl that played Lex in the first Jurassic Park movie. Before she was in that, she was in this. As well as Tremors and I'm Gonna Get You Sucka and I think 2 other movies that I didn't recognize. Later that night, the town radio station plays a repeat of the famous Orson Welles' War of the Worlds broadcast. You know, the one that made everybody listening apparently think it was an actual news broadcast of an alien invasion. Well, here we get the reverse of that, as one of the alien ships that has lost contact with their fleet ends up catching the transmission, and they interpret it as real, so they hightail it down to Earth.
You know,
I remember the first time they played that thing.
You put a big bucket on your head and took off with them army boys to fight Martians.
Okay, yeah, us 1930s people probably didn't take that all too well, but like you future people are any different, nowadays you probably see a bunch of made-up crap on your artificial intelligence, what's-a-mahoozits on your portable pocket computer machine telephone devices. You probably just see all that stuff and immediately believe it was real. So really, we ain't too different, you and I, are we? Back with Wrenchmuller, he's out walking with his dog Jim. Considering what happened the last time this actor went walking in the woods with his dog, hopefully this time it doesn't end with them getting killed by murderous clown aliens. Meanwhile, Sam drops off Kathy at the local kiddie Halloween party.
Welcome to another thrilling, true-life episode of Russell Pillsbury, Deputy Sheriff.
Oh boy, somebody clearly watched too many episodes of Cops and started getting ideas. Martians land at Wrenchmuller's barn and take off their helmets, because of course they can breathe Earth's oxygen. If they can do the same thing the other way around in Planet 51, screw it. Martians in this movie can breathe Earth air too. Right off the bat, the costume work and design of the Martians looks pretty good, especially with the budget this considerably low for Hollywood standards at the time. The articulation in the eyes and lips look great, despite the occasional hiccup here and there. And it should go without saying, but bless the actors who had to wear those heavy head rigs for hours on end with barely any way of properly seeing out of them.
Just for the record,
I'm listening.
I thought this was a bad idea.
And for some reason, I'm an alien that sounds like Jack Nicholson. Johnny.
Just for the record, you'd better hope not.
Hi, Director Cameo as the Enforcer drone. Meanwhile, Wrenchmuller goes digging and finds an old newspaper with an illustration of the Martian invasion, which just so happens to look like these guys. Not like it really matters because, as you'll soon see, the main joke of the movie is the alien invaders are incredibly dumb.
Really, you give these simple Earthlings far too much credit.
Buckle on up, that's the whole premise of the movie. Back with Kathy, she sits sad and alone on the porch because she doesn't know anybody. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Sam and Kathy are new to Big Bean because they moved after her mother passed away. But she soon befriends this kid Brian, rocking a duck costume that still manages to look less absurd than the live-action baby Huey. Back with the aliens, they are now without a leader, so they figure they should just go and seek out any humans they can find and attack them. But of course, since it's Halloween, everyone just assumes they're kids in costumes, as they're brought along with Kathy, Brian, and the other kids by this woman who kind of looks like a live-action version of Kyle's mom from South Park.
Think of having costumes.
What a bunch of morons! Let's flame these bozos! They're too stupid to live!
I would try to rebuttal that, but in the last few years, I actually think that he's not too far off. Humans are incredibly stupid. After getting run over by a truck, who was drinking and driving, mind you, the alien captain gets back on his feet and uses mind control technology on the mayor's toady, Vern. The first thing he makes the mind-controlled man do is make them a mech, but no time for that. Here's some cute kid stuff as Kathy befriends the aliens and their little robot sidekick thing. Wait, hold on. So, we have incompetent alien invaders, a cute robot sidekick, 2 human kids that know the aliens are really aliens. Oh my god, this is live-action Invader Zim minus the nihilism. While the deputy tries to trap and take in Blasny, the other Martians are inevitably told to leave the lady's minivan after they keep insulting her and even threaten her with what she thinks are just toy laser guns. Yeah, she didn't kick them out after they accidentally blew up someone's house with those things, but insulting her in her own car? That's just crossing the line. Now you little bastards have to go walking the rest of the way. Sam sees the footage of the ship from earlier and now fully believes there are little green men walking amongst us. Back at the barn, the Enforcer drone realizes the transmission wasn't call for invasion, so now he plans to kill the Martians. Meanwhile, in town at the Halloween potluck, Wrenchmuller and Sam try to warn the townsfolk about the aliens. Appropriate timing since Captain Bipto begins his own broadcast, announcing his plans for invasion. And there is not enough Three's Company music in the world for this level of misunderstandings that are going on right now.
I hereby invite you to surrender peacefully, so that we may execute you in an orderly fashion.
To make things even worse and more personal, they even blow up the off-ramp. Well, that does it. Send in the cops and the gun-toting rednecks after them. While Blasny and Brian work on fixing the ship, the remaining 3 Martians find the source of the radio broadcast, and finally learn that it wasn't what they initially thought.
Shame you missed the ending, though. That's the best part.
How so?
Our germs got him.
Germs?
Yeah.
They manage to send out a distress signal for the ship. It does fly out to their location, but the ship is still not fully repaired. And now it seems virtually everyone makes it to the ship. The aliens, Kathy, and even the rest of the townspeople. Since they're surrounded, the Martians threaten to use a DOD, a weapon that is apparently so powerful it can blow up an entire planet. But of course, it doesn't work.
Let's let him have it! Give me that! Prepare to die, Earth scum! Come on, you wanna argue or live?
Yeah, get him!
Prepare to die, Earth scum! Prepare to die, Earth scum! I'm gonna make sure they carve that on your tombstone!
Kathy and her father are reunited, and we get that obligatory scene where the kid character tries to explain to the adults that the aliens aren't bad, even though these ones might be, considering they originally came here to take over the planet.
They certainly deserve whatever they get. Now, come on.
But Dad, they're not really bad. They're just stupid.
Because after all, there's no way you can be either of those things at the exact same time. No, they're both mutually exclusive. Martians decide to settle down after losing the gun nuts, having to accept the fact that they're seemingly stuck on Earth. This results in them singing. Yeah, we're now taking cues out of the Baby Huey movie, as this is apparently a musical halfway through. Yeah, can we cut to something else, please? There we go. Here's Vern as he has successfully finished making that mech, the Farmzoid, a transformer-like robot built out of farm equipment. However, the townspeople surprisingly take the thing down rather easily, with yet another trailer line.
All right, that's it. Mom's gonna hear about this.
Yeah, that'll teach you to drink and drive, and hand out cigarettes to kids on Halloween. Once the Martians make it back to Wrenchmuller's place, they plan to launch their ship in the air with some dynamite. But with the drone still controlling the ship, it kicks them out before they can take off. But with some good old cartoon-style manipulation, they blow up the drone with some more dynamite.
The Tri-Nitro-Toluene Award.
I accept. In the name of goodwill, with hope for the peaceful coexistence of our 2 worlds.
How'd you like to have a photo so you could remember this?
Yes, please. I don't know what to say.
You can just say your prayers.
They successfully get the ship off of the ground and into the air, and they finally take off back to space. But before they leave, they drain their ship's septic tank all over Wrenchmuller's crops. Well, gee, what could possibly happen? Come the next day, as Clem Becker comes to foreclose on the farm, and oh look, crops are growing like crazy thanks to the Martian fertilizer from the night before. So the farm is still open for business, and the greedy banker's plans are dashed. I mean, yeah, the crops still look healthy, but you have no idea what's in those Martian feces that makes that stuff grow so quickly. So that was Spaced Invaders. It's stupid as all hell, but I'd be damned, I had a blast watching this movie. The premise is fun. There are plenty of fun sci-fi references from Close Encounters to My Favorite Martian all throughout. The actors play their characters well, even if they are over the top and archetypical sometimes. Most of the effects are pretty good for the budget they had, and the movie does have some genuine laughs throughout. It's far from a great movie, from some of the jokes that don't land to some of the wonkier effects, but I can definitely see why this movie's developing a cult following, and even managed to make its money back when it originally came out. So who knows? Maybe in another reality, this could have spawned its own little franchise. Certainly better than other family movies starring aliens I've talked about before, like Aliens in the Attic and Planet 51. As for what we're going to be talking about next time, we're going to see another Alien Invader movie, but this one answers the question, what if Tim Burton directed an alien invasion movie? Until next time, I'm the Media Wiz, because one art form wasn't enough.
Don't you ever do that again.